Millewa football time, and I might even get some netball commentary. Just depends on this fella that he now is joining us each week, Jack Kelly, Matt Kelly. And Matt, you're with us now. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks, Wayne. I'm not Jack Kelly. Jack Kelly is my uncle who did play a lot of footy for Werribee, but I'm the nephew, Matt.
I shouldn't forget your name because you're a legend of your club. But I was just about to suggest you didn't get a game last week, and they tell me that you might not get a game just when I looked at the lineup, but you might not get a game again this week.
No, it's a very healthy sign for the Werribee boys. If I'm not playing, the opposition seems to gain a little bit of confidence if they see me on the team sheet. So I think I think we're looking all right, but we'll see what happens in the lead up to the game, whether I put on the black and white jumper or the fluoro green runners jumper.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Well, I tell you what, the league got off to a cracking start. The goal on Friday night. There was a Dane Swan-led goal who come out and played some pretty good football in the end and got home 12-10-82 to 9-10-64. And I'm told a pretty good crowd lined up.
Yeah, it was a huge crowd. It was a great kick-off to the Millewa season. So it was great to have Dane running around and being involved in the Miller League and playing for Goal. I was talking to Bull Atkinson from Bamble, and he said their boys were pretty sluggish. So he said the margin could have even been a bit more. But I'm sure the Bamble boys will bounce back a bit this week.
I certainly need to. Bradley Congress, so we know that name. He's been a big goal kicker over the year, over the journey. 4 goals from him. Luke Coates booted 2. Connor Darby and Kane Darby, also Colby Prowse, and a bloke called Dane Swan kicked 2 each for their side, the Goal Hawks, and Andrew Gould and Colby Prowse. Pretty good players. Lyndon Duryea also played well. Jason Hurrah, Toddy George, Jake Garraway got onto the better players for the Bamble side. And then the game that was played over at Nangelock, it was the visitors, Cardross, 19-12, getting over Nangie, 7 goals, 10. A big win for Cardross.
Yeah, a bit of I guess the margin was a bit of a one out of the box for pundits. Nangie have been particularly strong over the last few years, so talking with Cam Cox, Nangelock's president, he just said they were comprehensively beaten out of the middle, and the Carter guys certainly have started their season off in very strong form.
They certainly did, but the one that we were waiting to see how Maringa would go. Could they get a team on the park? They did just that and played some really good football against your boys, the Werribee Magpies, 21-17, 143 to the Kangaroos, 12-13-85. And this game, though, at half-time was pretty evenly poised.
Yeah, that's right. Flowman, there was nothing in it. I think Werribee was slightly in front, but Maringa could have easily been a couple of goals up also. Maringa should be very proud of their efforts. They certainly one of the stronger sides Maringa has put out for a number of seasons, and so they've certainly got something to work with, and their coach and supporters should be very happy.
Certainly happy. I'll tell you what, your blokes got home. Bailey Adams led the way brilliantly and played a superb game. Joel Perry and Zachary Pullman both kicked 3. Adams and Luke Charles and also Fevaliki got a goal and a couple of goals from him. On the other side of the ledger, this bloke, Josh Tidswell, he could be a real find for the Maringa side. 6 goals. And Melly Kayla to Gagtagi. Now, that is not how you pronounce his name, but I'm going to guarantee you one thing. Matt Kelly, are you going to have a go at it?
Yes, I will. I call him Melly.
Yeah, it's well done. So Melly played an absolute belter, was best for them.
That's right. No, he was really good. A real natural athlete and a really good mover. So his footy will get better too. He's fairly new to footy, but he was outstanding. And as you mentioned, their full forward is going to be a real handful for any of the fullbacks in the competition this year. He was they put him nice and high, and he's very very strong overhead and mobile off the deck as well.
Yeah, it's good to see Josh Tiswell, very, very good player, and Melly with 3 added to that. Lucas Pett at 2, probably the scoring options in the second half, particularly for Werribee. More players being able to get forward and create some space and get on the end of it and be able to run out. Pretty comfortable winners against the arch rival, but they'll be certainly very pleased that Moringa are much more competitive than what they were last year in this competition. The women's game, and it's worth having a look before we get back to the games this week, because the last weekend the Werribee girls 18-17-125 beat Moringa one straight kick, but a good game and to get started for the season.
Yeah, I think that's probably not truly reflective of the game. There was certainly the Moringa girls certainly put in a huge effort. The Werribee girls this season, I think, will be an early tip to be right up there. They've trained really well in the pre-season. They're coached very well, and we've got some standout players. So, Moringa girls will certainly improve over the next few weeks, I'm sure.
Certainly will. Sienna Charles, Lorraine Lewison, Courtney Sanderman, Ava Faith Hinton were good players, and 6 goals to Gemma Johnson, who she got 6 goals and didn't get in the best players. I reckon she'd be a bit stiff about that. And what about Miranda King? 1 goal. She kicked the one for Moringa in that first quarter. Sonia Newson and Chloe Newsom, the 2 Newson girls, and Amelia Mitchell and Jamie Butters in it, along with Emma Bosworth for Moringa. In the other game in women's football, it was Wyndham Bamble 10-6 to Golgol 6-3. So on the night game, the girls had a bit of a twilight match.
Yeah, that was a very competitive game by all reports. So looks like Bamble will be thereabouts again. They probably the girls would have enjoyed the non-slippery, dewy conditions too playing earlier on that evening. So I'm sure the boys found it fairly challenging as the night went on. It was quite a dewy evening. Yeah,
very dewy. And the Werribee girls, any comments from you about your girls and how they went?
Well, we've got Laurianne Lewison is a bit of a gun in the comp. She's probably been arguably the best player over the last few seasons. So she's very hard to get past, read the ball really well at centre half back, or plays in the middle, or plays wherever she wants. Gemma Johnson, she's our Wayne Carey up forward, and really good mover, good overhead, and I'm sure she had a good chat to those people giving out best player names last week, and she will put some pressure on them, and I'm sure she'll make it in this week.
Good stuff. The girls, Bamble play Moringa at Mildura College in the early game, 12:30, and then Cardross play Golgol at their game over at Cardross. Werribee, your girls have the weekend off for this weekend. Let's go to this week's games, and it's going to be a really big matchup when you come up against the Nanjalok boys at your home deck. It's a home game. They tell me that they're out there lining up the oval a bit at the moment, putting some white lines around it. Who does the lines for you down there? Have you got a few stalwarts that come out and do that for you?
Yeah, we've got Peter Wade's been doing our line marking for a few years. He's actually got ex-Bamble connections, so it probably shows we're very welcoming, like us Werribee people, allowing someone from Bamble to help us out with our lines. So he does a great job and does a lot of the sporting ovals in the whole Sunraysia area. He's a well-known identity when it comes to line marking.
Good on him, and well done. It's going to be a good game. Look, they were not so great last week, so real chance for you to get a win and a second for the season.
Yeah, for sure. Our boys are very keen to hop straight into this game, and with some confidence we gained out of last week. Nanji would be very very disappointed with their effort last week, so I'm sure they'll bounce back very quickly. They've got some very good footballers, and a lot of their newer guys may have taken that last week to gel a bit, so I'm expecting a very, very competitive game.
Very competitive. Other matches that we've got before us. Moringa get to take on Bamble. This one at Mildura Senior College. And Moringa, it's great to see a team on the park. Probably going to be tough against Bamble for them this weekend.
Yeah, it will be tough for them, but I think they've got they'll work on a few things. Over the week after the game last week against Bamble, so they'll certainly give it a good showing. But I'd expect Bamble would be be too strong and have a bit too much class for them.
Yep, looking forward to see how Melly goes again. The two Tidswell boys, Josh up forward kicking goals. Egmerly Smith, that's a good one for us too to call through the year. Could be one to watch, and we'll continue to hope for some good results for the Moringa Kangaroos as they bounce back this year in the competition. Cardross play goal. This is the match of the round, and a lot of people reckon that Cardross's form last week was no aberration, and at home they might be a very strong outfit.
Yes, I think I'd be tipping Cardross in this one. They've certainly recruited well in the off season, and you showed that last week against Manzelock. They're on their home ground. They're pretty tricky to beat too. There's usually a fairly strong breeze heading across the ground, and they seem to play better in that than most. Beautiful game of football it's going to be. The Millewa Football League is back and we're playing our second round, and there's football being played at the Lake Coleraine Ovals. And you call them Johansson Reserves on the Werribee side, all been marked out. Plenty of pies and pasties and everything available out there for you, Matt, this weekend? Oh, we've got pies and pasties, and there's also been some salad rolls, and that sort of fare has infiltrated its way into country canteens over the last few years. So we've got something to suit all tastes. Beautiful stuff. I reckon there'll be a lot of people too at the first home match for the Werribee side taking on Nangelock in the men's comp. No women's game this weekend. But netball wise, how are the girls going? Our Werribee girls have got strong sides again. It looks like we'll be up there. I think we had a pretty good showing last week, winning most of the games last week against Moringa. So our girls are quite strong and have been for a number of years. So I'm expecting a good showing again, and we'll see how they fare this week against the Nanja girls. All right, I think I've kept you out of canteen duty by you speaking so kindly and nice about those Werribee girls. So you might be on the bar though. Yeah, that's right. No, I'll find a job to do somewhere. In the timekeeper's box too, perhaps, and one of the runners. Great to have you on the show. And Matt Kelly, we'll catch up with you next week as we take a look at Millewa footy, and you have a good weekend.